like to bring up the man who put this entire thing together, nationwide. This is how cool it is to be a part of this, because the amount of people and the amount of resources that we have around us, I don't even realize, and I can guarantee you don't even realize too. And the power of one person's idea goes so far. Right now, this is happening in multiple cities, because Mike went down to Bilderberg earlier this year, met a whole bunch of people and said, let's have a nationwide End the Fed rally completely on his own, and look at it. This is perfect. So I can't thank you enough, man. You've done so much in the past year. I'm really glad that you're here, and thanks for putting all this together. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Michael Heise.
How's everybody doing today? Well, let's get a chant.
End the Fed! End the Fed! End the Fed! End the Fed!
End the Fed! End the Fed!
That's right.
End the Fed!
That's right. That's what this is all about. So I just want to thank all of you for coming out. It's a very important message. It's important to our future, to the kids, to everything, to our prosperity, our freedom. It's a vital time in this country. Now that the era of Ron Paul's political career is over, there's a lot of people out there saying, what's next? Who are we going to look to next? The answer is nobody. Nobody. Look to yourself. Be your own leader. As Margie touched on, this is not a time for politics anymore. All right, we have been backed into a corner. We have to start taking our own actions. We have to start taking responsibility for what we have allowed and reverse it. So what I want to talk about here is just some of the philosophy of freedom. So, what is freedom? Freedom is something unique in that it unites all of us in our differences. It means something different to every single individual. Some people use it to pursue personal interests, and others try to see the world, others try to help other people. But whether people see it or not, we are connected in that freedom. Freedom is one of the driving forces in the human existence. Freedom, like hope, can never really die. Even when chained down by tyranny, it still exists in our hearts and our minds and grows to a raging inferno that inevitably grows to overcome. Freedom cannot die with a man or with a nation, and because of that, it is our duty, our responsibility to defend the sanctity of living life how each and every one of us see fit according to our own morals. In our society, the notion of losing freedom has manifested itself as over there or them. That freedom can only be lost through external means and never here at home. Never to our so-called leaders here. And never here to our own societal norms that we hold in our head that forego freedom all on its own. Freedom is a principle for life, not war, not a means of violence. That means everyday life. It means standing up to a bully, even if the bully is too afraid to stand up for himself. It means not doing something immoral or hurtful, no matter how great the reward or how great the pegs are. Freedom's greatest weapon is simply one word: no. No, I will not allow you to violate my freedom, and no, I will not allow you to violate the freedoms of others.
That's right. Woo! Yeah.
Freedom's greatest hour of need in our world is right now. But more so than that, it's every second of need that it was ignored. Every law that has been passed illegally that we allowed happen. And the lawbreaker's not held responsible. Every time that the vitality of freedom has been taken for granted. Every single demeaning, depressing, weakening, stereotypical, dishonest, alienating, dismissive, or emasculating view our society has propagated amongst ourselves. The only thing that we need on our part is belief. If you believe that you're free, if you believe that you own yourself, if you believe that nobody else has the right to own you, if you truly believe in liberty, no matter if the rules are called laws or if the violence is called justice, if you truly believe in liberty, you have all that you need to live free in an unfree world. We need freedom if we are to fully embrace our creator or our nature. Because when you consider that we have both sentience and consciousness, and that is what separates us from other animals, it's axiomatic that the more we connect with that consciousness and the more we connect with that sentience, the closer we are to our freedom. So the more closer we are to our creator. So the more we forego freedom, the more we dismiss it offhand, the more we surrender it, no matter how subtly, and trade it for comfort, for perceived security, or lost responsibilities, that is the farther we are pushing ourselves away from our creator or our nature. There's problems though. Those who want to keep us in servitude to these banks, to debt, to the ideals that we have have in our head that forego freedom. They don't want us to realize our power. They don't want us to realize that we are free, because if we did, we would completely undermine their alleged authority and they would become irrelevant. They need our minds more than anything else, because freedom, and thus our bondage, is just as much internal as it is external. Without our fears, our dependencies, our self-responsibility, vices, or perceived legitimacy to them, they can never have our freedom. History is coming full circle. From when primitive man needed to follow the strongest alpha male in order to eat, to the onset of first civilizations where people still felt the need to follow a leader and gave up authority to a monarch. The mental advances we formed by making societies gave that monarch unintended powers where they were not looking out for our interests. Obviously, this did not work out bad for humans. This was the Dark Ages. Later, we watered down that same idea of giving up responsibility to other people to a group of people instead of one, and called it government. But this has also proven to be a folly, because these leaders that we have in government have led us into a new high-tech dark age of total warfare, widespread poverty, exorbitant debt, a system that makes the rich richer and the poor poorer, and we have lost our humanity, we've lost our individuality, our sense of self. We've been stripped of much of our humanity through something as simple as giving up responsibility of our own lives to somebody else. So this is the essence of the liberty movement. This is not something that we're here to reclaim, but to assert. This is about control, and not in the sense of physical control where we can look down and see our chains, but from an invisible prison that has been built up to cage our minds, to follow the rules of others instead of our own morals. This does not require legislation. This does not require an election, a debate, a fight, or a war. Instead, this requires something as simple as a realization and an understanding. We must understand that we are evolving at a mental level. We're evolving out of an old paradigm of control, of respecting arbitrary authority, away from confusing the rule of law with morals, away from accepting and even feeling a need for a system of inherent violence to govern us away from being violent. Such a system is hypocritical on its face. We are realizing that there is some inherent evil in the population, but it is our duty to defend our own sanctity of our lives. Just like in evolution, this is needed for our advancement as a species, for if we don't, we're faced with a growing, powerful police state, complete global financial meltdown, world war, and a wealth gap that's going to separate the entire human species into the poor and the elite. Just like in evolution, not everybody will accept the new form that our socio-economic interactions are going to take. And those who cannot are going to cling on to the old system. Just like in evolution, not everybody can make it. But also like in evolution, ultimately we will prevail. Ultimately we will create a new world where our understanding of freedom is more pure than anything we have ever understood in our lives. Always remember that history is on our side. History is always on the side of the poor, starving, outnumbered, outgunned, who have the determination to break free. And that's you people. Alright, that's all I got. Let's give one more chant, alright? And the Fed! And the Fed! And the Fed! And the Fed! And the Fed!
And the Fed! And the Fed! And the Fed! And the Fed!
Keep going, and the Fed! Woo! We're going. Ladies and gentlemen, go shake Mike's hand when you get a chance. It was awesome. Mike, that was beautiful. Thank you. One more time for Michael Heise.